Now we're live. Okay. I have here Daniel Adiafahurst. Did I get that right? He's, well, I'll let you introduce yourself. I came across you a couple of weeks ago and tried to get together, and you had a little bit of things going on, but why don't you introduce yourself? Wow. Uh-huh. Uh, uh-huh. Oh, really? Wow. Reverse hereditary. I like it. Quest for knowledge. Quest for knowledge, yeah.
The army.
Oh, hold on. I guess you weren't being heard, so I have to bring your picture up
Oh,
here. Sorry.
oh,
Can you
sorry.
hear
Okay.
Idiot, can you hear him now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. How about those in the chat there?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing the chat, so I have no
They said
clue.
they can't. Oh, now I can hear us both. All right. We're on, Daniel. This is
Yeah. All right.
this is Daniel, everybody.
All right.
Well, you gotta start
Hi.
over now.
Oh, oh, start over. Oh, wow. Okay. I'll do a quick recap. In high school, I wanted to be a priest so I could get into the Vatican Library so that I could find out all the secrets there. And so I studied Latin and Greek and stuff like that in high school so I could do that. Realized that I was just doing it to get into the Vatican Library, and they would probably catch on pretty fast. So I stopped doing that. Joined the army as a Czech linguist, and um, at that point, I met a coven leader who invited me to one of the parties, the get-togethers, the rituals, and I liked it. I had a lot of fun there, and it made more sense at the time than anything I'd seen in the people of the books rituals and stuff like that, because the whole idea was that you were having fun. And so I joined, I got initiated, um, got to third degree, and started covens. I had a coven in Texas and in Wisconsin and here in Arizona for a while, and that was pretty cool. And then
Uh-huh.
just kept on going. So And finally, I never really cared much if there were gods or not, but I
So
enjoyed the party. What?
is there any way you can get a little closer to your mic? I think you're getting a little bit of a low
Oh,
level right here too.
okay. How's this? Is this better?
That is way better. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yay. I'll just hold my phone then. I had it sitting on some macaroni and cheese boxes.
Okay.
I
Gonna have to start over this time though. So
do have to start over?
no, you don't.
Oh,
No, you
okay.
don't.
Then I'm sending you a medal and a rose then. That's great. You know. But yeah, so that's where I went, and then finally, well, 4 years ago, I had a stroke that ripped out all my languages, computer programming, all that stuff that I'd been doing, left me with English, and also left me with 1 week of nothingness. I was like, if there was anything at all to these religions, there would have been something, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I'm still here talking to you guys is because of modern medicine,
Yep.
medical tech. And so it's like medical tech brought me back. It weren't no God, So that's where I stand. It was a good run, had lots of fun, lots of parties, lots of rituals, lots of getting together, and was never really my circles were never serious. It was never,
Just
oh yeah, we're horrible people or anything like that. It was like, yeah, we're having fun. There's wine afterwards, and we can dance and we can sing and we can hold each other and we can just smile and have a good time. And if there's gods, then they're going to be having a good time with us. So let's go for it. And that's what it was all about. And that's really Wicca is the idea that you can have fun with the gods and goddesses and all that stuff. And that they're not there to control you. They're not going to help you a whole lot, but they can if they want. So you just have a good time, enjoy yourself, get together as a group, and kind of form a community that can help each other and stuff like that. And so it worked out that way. It was pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
and from all the things that I've ever come across for beliefs, I think Wiccan is probably one of the least harmless ones because it really doesn't. You're not really imposing your beliefs on everybody else. You're just kind of. Uh,
Right.
I haven't met anybody that's trying to sit there telling me to join them or so. So
Well, one of our rules was you don't evangelize. If someone asks you a question, you can answer it, but you never bring it up because, you're not trying to get anyone in with you. You're not trying to validate your beliefs by having other people agree with you. And
mhm,
so that was kind of a basic rule there. The other basic rule is don't cause unnecessary harm, you know.
there you go.
It's worded differently in different factions, but it always comes down to that. There's some harm you have to do. You have to eat, hey, stuff like
Yep.
that. But you don't go out of your way to harm, and you try really hard not to cause harm that's not going to do anything for you. That isn't necessary. So that's why I stayed in it for so long, was because it has that kind of a feel and that kind of a teaching and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty darn cool. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Mrs. Starkey says, "Never had a Wiccan knock on my door."
Yeah. Oh, well,
She
only
also
knock if you're a practice, you know.
He also asked a question: which gods and goddesses were in your tradition?
My tradition started off with the Greek ones, okay, and all that. Switched over to the Norse because they were pretty cool.
Thor.
And Thor, yeah, Thor, Idun, all of those cool ones, that really all they did was their job. That was it, you know. I create thunder. I don't do anything else. That's fine with me, you know. You have a weekend off, you enjoy yourself with the other gods. Good job. Um, and then I went into Native American for a little bit because I got that in me. Um, and that was pretty cool. But overall, I would say that my favorites were the Norse gods. You know, the Oriental gods are okay,
Hmm.
but yeah, the Norse really called to me, as it were. So that was a good time. I enjoyed that. But that's the thing about Wicca is it doesn't matter what you call them. You know, um, you can go with Thor, you know, and that's
Okay,
fine. You can go
interesting.
with Zeus, that's good. And so you can be in a circle with 12 people, and each one of them is using different names, and it doesn't bother anyone. It's like, yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. What's the story? I haven't heard of that one. What did they do? What's the backstory there? And so you got to learn a lot of stuff just by having that no one necessarily agreed that this was the gods. No, it was like, yeah, you have a good story, I have a good story, let's share them, you know.
It almost sounds like the Unitarian Church.
You could think of it like that, yeah, that it was the
Almost finding your own thing or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, real close, you know.
Um.
The only difference is that you do tend to have more than one god uh,
Okay.
within within your purview. Um, and with Unitarian, of course, you can have one God and still be in. Now, we never turned anyone away. I mean, people would come up to our circles and say, "What are you doing? What kind of blasphemy is this?" And we'd invite them in, give them some wine, have a fun, you know.
Yeah, my mom grew up in the Unitarian Church, so
Ah, very cool. Yeah, yeah, very
she was
nice.
atheist. So there you have it. You can do whatever you want in that church.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
the Godless Iowan asks, what similarities do you see between mainline faiths and Wiccan? Do you see any similarities between those two?
Okay. The only thing that I can think of that would be well similar. That's not really a fair question because most of the like the Catholic Church and stuff like that took a lot of the pagan symbols and things like that and rituals and stuff and included them in, and so the Protestants ended up with a lot of that stuff. Um, but as far as comparing them nowadays, I would say that the real difference is that what I was saying, you got a whole bunch of gods, and none of them are so important that you have to be afraid of them. You know, you don't fear the gods. You party with them, or you ignore them. One of the two.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and in mainstream religions, pretty much you have to be afraid, uh, unless we're talking Buddhism and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily consider them as that as a real religion because it's not like you got a god there. What you got is people that can become something more than they are or become nothing, depending on whether you're after nirvana or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try and.
And yeah, nirvana is just nothingness. So that's where I was actually. Yeah, come to think of it. Yay. Yeah, but see, that's like, wow, I actually see a chat now.
You got the chat up there?
You,
Good. I want to make sure you
you,
got to see it so you see people talking to you. All
yeah, you rock. You rock.
right. Hey, everybody's been saying that.
What does Wiccan mean if you just go with whatever you like? I'm not sure what that means, except that if you're saying because you can choose which god, what you're going to call your gods and what they can do, then that's what it means. Basically, it means that you got to have ethics. Another rule was that you had to keep learning stuff. You couldn't stop learning. And okay, like whatever gods. That's a pretty good question. The thing is that the gods don't make a difference in Wicca. Which god you worship or party with or whatever, however you want to say it, you're not man, you're not bound to any of them, and you're not afraid of any of them. And so what you're doing is looking for an ethical way of approaching other people through that kind of teaching and stuff like that. So ethics is just we treat each other right, and that comes down to the Wiccan teaching. And Wicca, as I understand it, have understood it all these years, is basically just, okay, there's something out there. They're like avatars of things that we experience. And because of that, they embody what we're experiencing, and we can understand the experience, but in a different way by approaching it through this god or that god. So it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't matter what god you're worshiping. We had some Christian Wiccans in our circles, and that's just the name that they used. Yeah, there are Christian Wiccans. And it seems kind of strange. It seemed kind of strange to me too, because Christianity seems to be.
Let me ask you, what exactly does the job of the priest? That you're a priest then, right? So
yeah.
What exactly does that job title entitle you to do?
Well, what I can do, and I can still do it. You don't lose that. I've still got the paperwork and all that. Well, yeah, I can perform marriages. I can perform funerals, and I can create new witches. Someone comes to me and says, I want to be a witch, and I test them and I teach them and stuff like that, make sure that they're going to fit in, that they're not racist pig dogs and things like that. And then I can initiate them and bring them up to high priest or priestess if that's what they want. But that takes a while, that's a little bit of study and things like that. So it's not like you walk up and say, I want to be a high priest, and you go, yeah, no problem. It's like, yeah, let me learn about you first, and you can learn from me, and we'll figure out if you're going to be able to do that or not. So that's basically what I can do as a priest right now. I can counsel, that kind of thing. Say, you really shouldn't have done that.
It just seems like I'm trying to think of a couple people. I know a couple people that are Wiccans, but I guess I never really asked them a whole lot about it. So it's been really interesting to me.
Yeah. And you're going to get different approaches from every Wiccan. Being a high priest is trying to herd cats.
It sounds pretty diverse. I have to say that much about it.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it for me, is that it is so diverse.
If I ever do find an idiot that's going to marry me, I'm going to have you and the Godless Iowan, the ex-Pentecostal priest, marry.
There you go. I will be your idiot.
All right.
I still have the robes, man. I can still do it.
Cool. You can do a video, do a little ceremony on a video once.
Oh, hey, that would be fun, wouldn't it? I should do that.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that.
Okay. Well, now you've given me something more to do. That'll be fun. Yeah.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Oh, excellent. Oh yeah. Okay. Now you got my mind racing on what I want to do and stuff like that.
The
All
God,
right.
Godless Island said he'll definitely marry me, but it's only got to be done in 100% tongues. But that'd be a
Oh,
wild one, huh?
yeah. Afterwards, no one's even sure that it's done. It's like, are we done? Oh, man, you guys rock. I like this group.
No, I've had so much fun. It's been pretty wild last month or whatever. Just having fun with everybody that comes into the community's building up, and it's a lot of friendly people and a lot of people that cared about each other.
Yeah.
So can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, this to me feels no different than when I was with the Covens, you
Uh huh.
know,
Yeah,
because it's still approaching people the same way, uh, not caring what God you do or don't believe in. You just do the rituals because that's a good way of getting together. It's lots of fun, and it's kind of hypnotic when you get into the chants and things like that. Like,
uh-huh.
yeah, I can do this. I can just zone out right now and get rid of all this stress I had today because of my work and things like that.
Little
Oh,
meditation or whatever. Then.
yeah, yeah. A little bit of meditation and uh, meditation in circles and things like that. One of the things I've had to give up was raising a cone of power. Okay, that was always fun,
Raising a
but
cone.
it really goes nowhere. What you do is you're in the circle, and everyone stands in a circle within the circle and passes energy back and forth to get it to a pitch where you can release it to do something. Okay, so
Uh
that's a
huh.
cone of power. One of the rules was if you made one, you had to give it a death date because there's a cool myth or I don't know, um, just a cultural thing that a cone of power was created to stop Hitler by uh,
Huh.
a British coven, and they didn't give it a death date, so it's still wandering around, causing all sorts of bad stuff to happen and things like that.
Bad YouTube, huh?
Oh, how do you mean pass energy? Okay, the feeling was that you passed energy from your right hand to the other person's left hand. They pulled it into themselves, put it down through their spine to increase the energy, brought it back up, passed it out their right hand, and across to the left hand of the next person. Okay. So that was the idea. It feels really good. It really does. You can really get into this psychological thing. Oh, this is so cool. And then at the end, the high priest or priestess or both release the energy for whatever it is. PvP, yes, it is a feeling. It's a really cool feeling. And I don't hold with it right now. Yeah, Kundalini. Yeah, but Kundalini is a little bit more fun, except that you can't finish. So it's like that's pretty irritating. Um, but yeah, the same kind of thing as Kundalini or any of those other energy raising things. And um, excellent PvP. Excellent. All right. I actually made sense. Whoa.
No, it's a
Something
good day.
new. It's a good day if you make sense once.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And that's really what we did, you know. The raising of the energy was sort of like a prayer, except that it was supposed to be from us. instead of from God. Still the same kind of results, but hey, you know, we at least had fun, and we didn't have to abase ourselves to anyone to get that feeling.
And I thought it was just a bunch of parties like on Dragnet with a bunch of goat feet and heads and stuff. That's what I thought it was. Jeez, am I disappointed?
Well, that's before and after the circles.
All right, excellent.
Yeah. And then during the circles, of course, we would make fun of the gods and stuff like that. We would just make puns. We would do a ritual slightly wrong just for the fun of it to make it sound strange. We'd make fun of each other, and we'd just have a really jolly time. So
sounds more like a party than a church.
Yeah, it's basically a party with some ritual thrown in.
Yeah, okay.
And the ritual is still a party. You know, you're still having fun. It's just a different kind of party.
Yeah,
and the feeling is a placebo effect. Yes. Well said. And there's nothing wrong with a placebo effect as long as it makes you feel good, you know. And you know, you can't go out and say, okay, the placebo effect, it's just one. Well, it's not just a placebo effect. It's a placebo effect that worked, made you feel good.
Yeah.
And so feeling good is like one of the key aims of life. You know, you help other people because you feel good doing it.
You're
It makes
happy.
them feel good.
You're happy.
You're happy.
I don't think there's much else than being happy.
Right. If you're not happy, you're doing something wrong. You know.
Yeah. It could be you need to eat, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy to go home.
Right. Yeah. And if you approach people that way, which was the whole object, then you're doing it. Hedonism rocks. Don't even go with this is good stuff. Jeez, man.
Yeah, great.
This is what I like about this group is that they are pretty clever.
Oh yeah. We got a lot of shit tossing going on once in a while, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And for the most part, you know that it's just shit. You know, that every once in a while you get someone that's actually serious about the whole thing. And they tend to get on pretty fast because it's like, yeah, don't do that. You're harshing our buzz, man.
Get out my club, man. Those are bad mushrooms.
Oh.
What is it? What's the weather like down there in Phoenix right now? Pretty sunny?
It's starting. Yeah, it's very sunny. It's not horrible, but yeah, it's really nice. The whole winter, I put on my jacket once, didn't wear the coat at all. So it's been a very, very mild year, which is not good, you know, because it means the water level is going to be way, way low. The water tables. And that's going to cause some problems here. We can make it, except that we keep getting people that move in and decide they're going to water their lawns, you know. Like, no, don't water your lawn.
Yeah, I've been off and on. Try to be a snowbird and go out to LA every winter, but I started deciding a house last fall, and I got stuck here kind of the whole winter. So whatever, it's not that big deal.
Yeah, soon you'll be rich and famous though, so you know you'll be going where you want. You're very stuff like that. So yeah, you can wait.
Yeah. No, I'll be going there at well, not Learjet, but more like a a 1957 Western travel trailer.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I have the Breaking Bad trailer.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
The Breaking Bad RV, yeah. I didn't even realize it when I bought the thing. So I'm traveling through Oklahoma, and I get stopped 5 times going through the state. And they brought the dogs in and everything because it was the Breaking Bad trailer, and they wanted to make sure I wasn't taking drugs and stuff through. It was hilarious. I was like, we're gonna bring your dogs in now. Yeah, fine, just do it, okay? Get it out of my way.
Profiling. Oh my goodness, what a crime!
Yeah, I know. Oh.
What would you call that?
Profiling, yeah.
Vehicular
Yeah.
profiling, I guess. I don't know. I can't think of anything else.
Vehicular profiling, I like that. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, I do like that. I'm gonna have to remember that. Vehicular profiling. Like people were going through and not getting stopped 5 times. There's a reason for this.
Driving a Winnebago.
That was pretty cool.
Watch out.
Yeah. Well, see, I have fun with the police, so there was never any problem. Like I'd stand outside the RV while they took the dogs through, and we'd tell jokes to each other and stuff like that. I was a park ranger for a while.
Oh, okay.
For 6 years.
Where were you park ranger
at? Petrified Forest.
Really? Wow, I've never been there.
Yeah. Oh man, you should go. It's really cool, really nice.
That's Black Hills.
They have built it up. What?
That's Black Hills, right?
Black Hills?
Black Hills?
Oh, there's Black Mesa, yeah. Or Blue Mesa.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the Painted Desert is part of the Petrified Forest, or the other way around, depending on which end you work at. But
what a cool place to work at.
Oh, it was so cool. Thank you. It was excellent, yeah. I met a lot of strange people going through, and it was always good talking. I was the guy that took the money, and warned people don't steal stuff from the park and stuff like that. And so I got to meet people before they went in, and there were some great people. Met some Czechs that came through, and at the time I still had my languages, which was pretty cool because people would steal something and I'd have to say, you can't steal this, and they would arrest them, and then they would suddenly not speak English.
Okay.
So as long as they spoke German or Spanish or Czech, I could come and read them their rights, so they would call me in. There was one guy, he was hilarious. Sorry, this is way off topic.
Oh, we're already off topic, no matter.
But this guy was really hilarious because they told him why he was being arrested, and he suddenly couldn't speak English. He spoke German.
Okay.
So they called me in. So I gave him his rights in German, and suddenly he couldn't speak German. He spoke Spanish. Okay, fine. So I read him his rights in Spanish, and suddenly he was a Czech. Luckily, that was all the languages he knew, because it was all the languages I knew. And so he gave up at that point. If he had switched to, Frisian or anything like that, I would have been lost. But it was really cool. It was a great job. Yeah. I don't work there now because I was seasonal for 7 years. Seasonal work all year long, but I was still seasonal, so they didn't have to give me any benefits or anything like that. But it was such a good job, I couldn't just walk away from it. But yeah, it was very nice.
Well, Mrs. Snarky said, did you already get to the point that you left Wiccan belief? I suppose we might go back there, huh?
Yeah. Basically, like I said, I never really much cared or worried about there being gods. But then after the stroke, when I realized that a whole week had gone by where I had nothing, no sensation, no thought, nothing at all. Um, I realized that if there was a God of any kind, I probably would have seen something. So it was like that. No, no, it's not even worth it to me. Did you have to speak Navajo? The only thing I knew in Navajo, and I still remember it, is Dinebazad Daditzada, which means I don't speak Navajo.
Well, hey.
It got me by. So yeah, most Navajo do speak English, so that was good. And if they started speaking Navajo, at least I could say that to them, and they could speak English at me. So, oh,
Somebody's in the chat, and I'd like to give a shout out. The Lavender Lady. If you guys ever get a chance, go and check her channel out. It's awesome.
Lavender Lady. All right.
Out there chatting in there. I ran into her channel a little bit ago, a few days ago, I think it was.
Cool. Well, then I am going to go there. Yeah. Thank you. See,
Yeah.
I like this when you guys do this kind of thing. People that I probably would never have seen.
I probably spend too much time. I just go around looking for channels that don't have very few people. And I just like introduce myself and go, hey. I've met a lot of people too. That, in fact,
Yeah.
just recently I've had a little bit of tough time because this one kid in Morocco, his parents are basically think he's demon possessed, and they're getting the local clergy and they're beating him over the head. And one of his friends was in an honor killing like about a month ago. So I'm a little bit worried about him, trying to figure out how to get him out of there. So
Yeah.
there's a serious side of it, but
there's a huge serious side. Yeah. Yeah.
but not the Wiccans. They're all
Yeah. I mean, the first time I ran into that as a Wiccan was just after I'd got into it. There was this guy called Johnny Todd. You can still find his stuff out there on the net.
Oh, okay.
Who said that he was a 32nd degree Wiccan priest who'd run away and escaped, and he needed all the money and stuff money and weapons and property from the Christians in order to make his escape work so that he could keep teaching how horrible Wiccans were. And that was hilarious because, there's 3 degrees to Wiccan. There's not 32. And, but I got hate mail. This was snail mail. This was long before we had the internet or anything like that. But a whole bunch of us actually got letters that were really poorly worded that said they knew where we lived and they were going to come burn us out and kill us and stuff like that because of our beliefs. So that was my first encounter with that kind of thinking.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because people are anonymous online or whatever that they can be. It's social media was kind of a little bit of an experience to me. I got a little bit of a taste of it when I first, about 3 years ago, I started debating climate change people on like Pothole 54's channel and stuff. And there are some nut jobs in that fucking debate. But the same with anybody that has these fundamentalist beliefs that they don't want to let go of. And when they tell you that if you don't stop believing, you're going to burn, well,
yeah,
you get people getting a little bit psychotic about it. So,
oh yeah, and I ran into a bunch of them, still do. But when I was practicing, there were a lot of people that would give you that line, that you're working for the devil. Like, I don't believe in the devil, so that's kind of hard to do, but okay.
Projections from the foibles of one's mind. That is what I think religion is. All of it.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good way of putting it, because it is. You're projecting yourself into this, and that's what can make you feel really good or really scared, depending on what kind of person you are. If I was if I had a slave mentality, then the people of the book would be something I would be joining. I don't, so Wicca was the closest I could find, and that worked really well. for a long time. Never really much cared about the God structure or anything like that. But you know, you do have this social thing going, which really helps out. And you know, something bad happens to you, there's people that will come and talk with you and bring you food and stuff like that. So yeah, it worked out. You know, I had a really hard time finding anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Except that you're believing something that has no evidence or proof. And for the most part, any evidence and proof you come up with show that it's not there anyway. But
explain your position now as a apatheist, an apatheist, apatheist. How do you pronounce it?
Apathy. Oh man, now you've got me. Yeah, apatheist will go with.
Okay.
Adiaphorist is what I call myself. It means the same thing.
Okay. Exactly what.
Yeah, I don't care if there's a God or not. It doesn't affect my life at all. If you prove to me a God, it just gives me something else to study.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, because I got so much to study right now. But yeah, it would just be something I had to put on the back burner till I could get to it, to study it, to find out about it.
You know, when you really think about it, there's a whole universe out there to study.
Right. See, that's the thing is it would be a way on the back burner, like I say. It's so much fun to see what's actually going on, to worry about something that doesn't affect me anyway.
Yeah.
So I get excited about the idea that someone might prove there's a God. It's like, they'll just give me more work to do. Stop it. You know?
Geez, I was trying to figure out how to add like 9 plus 6 yet. That's all further I've gotten on figuring out the universe, but
yeah.
got ways to go.
That's the beauty of the universe, is that no matter how much you know, there's going to be something you don't that you still get to learn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I guess I probably, if there's anything that I probably would have thought of, like might have been a thing, was just the thing of enlightenment, like a Buddhist would do or whatever. And that kind of comes from my great grandma and all that. My grandma, yeah, they were kind of into the Eastern culture like that.
yeah, and see, that does make sense. Enlightenment is, it's not like you're suddenly enlightened that there's a God or something. You're enlightened as to your motivations and why you do things and things like that.
I just
And
didn't. I just didn't need to shave my head. And I just didn't need to shave my head and meditate for 14 hours straight every day.
right. It saves you a lot of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I could.
Because you can get enlightened just by being alive. You know, you get to see a sunset. You know, as long as I can see a sunset, I'm doing good.
Poop is just shit. What's going on in the chat there? Jeez.
I love it.
Yeah, we're shit tossers, that's for sure.
It's what we do, but we do it very well.
Yep. Well, sometimes it's swear words at 10 paces, but
yeah, if I ever use a swear word, I'm either being ironic or I'm trying to catch your attention because I know you're not paying attention to me. You know?
I'm out working on a construction job when I swear a lot.
Yeah, that's what those words were created for.
Exactly.
If I can't use toilet humor, I may as well delete my channel.
I don't know, man.
Oh.
Must be Blue's fault since he came into the channel or came into the chat.
Okay, yeah, we'll blame Blue. Yeah, that works. Yeah, heathen homie. Used to be a Wiccan because my mom hated the fact I was an atheist. It's a good cover, you know, or something like that. You know, at least then they think that you're believing and worshiping a god, and so they're okay with it, or better off with it than you not believing at all. It's not quite the um, attack that they think that it is if you don't believe in God at all. They go, well, okay, you believe and that's okay. You just got the wrong one, you know. But yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna quit paying attention to the chat here. It's interesting, but it's not dealing with us even serious. That's where the chat's supposed to go though, when they're just having a good time down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's whenever I've been in a chat like that. That's what happens. Is you go off the rails a little bit. You're still listening to what's going on for the most part, but
Yeah,
like about this other thing, and yeah. So I mean, that's what it's all about. It's not like I'm coming here as a font of all wisdom or something like that.
Don't go wicked, man. You're just never be the same. You'll be so confused. You won't know which God to worship. You don't know what
Yeah, really. Yeah. Choose one. Yeah.
great big bingo shaped dartboard up there. You know? Darts at it.
I like that. That would be a huge dartboard too.
Oh man.
Man.
Wow, yeah.
That would be something that would be fun to make actually, I mean, but
Yeah,
yeah.
like think about however many religions that we can think of. That would take a while to do that.
A little bit, yeah.
Get a couple of historians on that
one. Maybe we can get a government grant,
Hey, all right.
We only need $20 million. We can do this for you. It'll take us 10 years.
We know we can solve the perpetual motion problem.
Right. Oh, did you guys just hang up?
No.
Did I lose you? Oh, okay. Okay, I just suddenly got a phone.
No, you're probably running in the background then.
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, it just suddenly appeared. I'm going, whoa, did I lose them? I'm glad I didn't lose you.
Bart, you fluffing. Yeah, the chat is really good. I love it. Perpetual motion. Yeah. I've spent probably the better of 7 years trying to explain to this friend of mine. He keeps trying to put magnets in a different position to try and get work out of them. I'm like, no, it's the kinetic energy that you put into the magnets that's going to create that energy that comes out of the magnets. And he just can't. It can't. I want to talk about it. I'm going to have an eye twitch all night if I do. Oh. Not your witness. How you doing?
Who?
Not Joe Witness. Another guy. There's another YouTuber I probably want to check out. He's been making some good videos on commentating about.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll remember that one too. Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
ex-Jehovah.
I'm learning a whole lot from you right now. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's what that was all about. That's that's what I'm all about. Send me money.
Every once in a while, I consider, it'd be really easy to create a religion and get really rich.
Oh,
but
for what we know, we could dominate in that.
Oh yeah, I'm
It'd
sure.
be like alms for the poor.
Oh yeah, but then I realized that my parents raised me with ethics. I'm gonna sue them for that. I was gonna sue them, but never got around to it. Darn it. I could be really rich right now.
but would you feel right about it?
Oh no, but I would spend lots of money to make myself feel better.
I'd hire a guy that would tell me that I feel good.
Oh.
Hey, you feel great. Thanks.
Oh man.
But Nadine Callan, that's some kind of ring that you do for knitting, and I was like looking at it going, that's just too complicated for my brain, my puny brain to figure out.
People that can make crafts.
Woo, some of it.
Yeah, that is a skill that's way beyond me. Is fabric work of any kind.
Yeah, you gotta be practicing it or know those different little tricks. Yeah, it's about too. Watching a really interesting show the other day. Lady girl person is a person that's on Twitter, but her and this other gal, Mary something else, but they're looking at all these old ivory bone needles from dig up archaeology site, and it was just so cool because there was actually the women's needles would actually have their own little etching signature on there, like the ownership mark on their needles. And this is I can't even remember how many years ago, but I'll try and I'm gonna put a link to that in the description after we get done with this, because I think people would be interested in seeing that. It was so cool. I watched the whole thing and it was just so much fun.
Oh, that'd be excellent. Yeah, we got to study that kind of thing when I took anthropology, and you got to learn all sorts of stuff like that. These were real people with real tech.
Yeah.
How to make a needle like this. Yeah. And so whenever people say things like, "Yeah, well, we're so much smarter than the old ones," it's like, yeah, no, we just got better tech.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think there's not really smarter people. There's just more educated people or more experienced people in certain things. And that's wisdom plays a huge part in everything, if you ask me.
Yeah, and if you took the stuff that we know, like the stuff that we teach in anthropology class now, if you took it back to those people, they'd understand it. They would learn it. It wouldn't be oh my God, this is so far above me or anything like that. It's just we didn't know that stuff at the time, so they weren't teaching it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Luckily, we have scientists and creators and explorers that are constantly finding new stuff that add to our pool of knowledge. Which
got the information at our fingertips. You just got to teach people how to access that information the right way, and that's part of my thing too. Yeah. Science, that's out there. Oh, geez.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's so much information that we have, like you say, at your fingertips right now. We can look up just about anything we want if we word it right. And if we word it wrong, we're going to get 25,000 hits that aren't helping us at all.
Checking the source on that stuff is that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you want to learn that, Potholer's got great videos on learning how to do that, whatever. Yeah. Checking the source is so important.
Oh yeah. You can't just take it. It's on the internet, so it must be true. Yeah. No. Look it up. cross-check everything, you know, source it out. Oh man, and that's the thing that people forget. I run into a lot of people where if it's on the internet, they wouldn't allow it on the internet if it wasn't true. Well, that doesn't even mean anything, you know. Oh. Yeah, I used to teach that stuff, and you had a lot of people that had that idea that somehow there was the internet police that made sure that anything that went on it was absolutely true and already checked, so you didn't have to. And it would take me a week to get them out of that mindset. And I was like, no, you can't do that. You can't approach it that way. You will fail.
If there is something YouTube did, it did bring those people out, the skeptical people out to debunk stuff or whatever. It's at least in our community. That is where our community is, for crying out loud.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, as long as you're skeptical, then you can actually learn stuff. If you're not skeptical, you know, what you're learning is probably useless. So,
yeah.
But like you say, you have to check it out. And you know, I didn't really go that direction while I was Wiccan, because it didn't matter to me. But other people did, and so we'd get some that were atheists that still went to our circles and partied with us and had a good time and took part in the rituals, because there's no reason not to. You know, you either do it because it's meaningful to you, or you do it because it's fun, or both. But if it's not meaningful to you, then you can at least have fun doing it. And that was never a problem for us. It was like, yeah, come on in. Yeah. You know, we'll even cut a door in the circle for you. Yeah, so you can come in.
I was just spacing off here a little bit. Where were we?
Oh, you are allowed to space out.
That's one thing I really want to get back out to LA, because now it's recreational there, and I just got to. I got to do that out there, because it's bugging me that I'm not there when it's on the first day that it happened. Dang, there was a question that I was going to ask you too, and I forgot where. No, it'll come to me, I think.
It's my job to make you forget questions.
Oh, is that what the priest does?
Yeah, we're specially trained to make you forget the important question you're about to ask. So yeah, sorry about that. Inner circle training. Dun, dun, dun. I miss weed.
You haven't had for a while?
No, the heathen homie just said I miss weed.
Oh,
I have a car.
Don't miss
Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, anybody want to come into the chat and join us?
Leap on in, guys.
We figured the Wiccans are harmless. We can leave them alone.
Oh. Well, that was another thing about being Wiccan, is that you didn't get attacked by, Satanists or
yeah,
or anyone like that. They left you alone. You know, they didn't go after you. I thought that was pretty cool. I like being
I'm guessing some theists probably think that a Wiccan and a Satanist are synonymous or something.
Oh yeah, we were always getting that. You worship Satan, you just don't know it stuff. I was like, well, I have a pretty good idea So don't go if you don't know it.
See,
It's like, but yeah, that's a very, the theists are very much into that. It's one or the other, and that's it. Unfortunately, they like make Satan a whole lot stronger than their God, which always struck me as odd. I couldn't figure that one out. If you're going to have a God, why not make it the strong one? But Satan keeps winning on all these things. So it's really a weird thing for me. I never really wrapped my head around it. Even when I was trying to become a priest, it was like, can't understand that part.
oops, oops. Oops, hold on a second.
Oh yeah.
Your
pizza.
Trying to get this trying to get this link in the chat, and I sent the wrong freaking link in a different window. So confused. There we
go. Nice.
Oh, that's one of my one of my tweets was, why did that come up there? Well, that's weird.
Oh.
All right. Trolls, everybody come on in. Do what you can.
Yeah, troll me. It'll be fun. What I really like is I actually do appreciate the Jehovah's Witnesses that come by. They come by every 2 weeks. And I bring them in and give them coffee and stuff, and we sit around and talk. And it's pretty cool. I enjoy it because they keep thinking that they're actually converting me, and I keep asking them questions they can't answer. Oh, we'll have to go back and ask. Well, you were actually sent out to talk to me, so you should know, or But yeah, I like them. I enjoy talking to people about stuff like that and try to figure out where they're coming from. I had JW's with Wiccans, worship Satans.
Ah, shit, that won't let me send it to that. I don't think it'll let me. Blue, I'm going to try and send that to you through G+.
Huh. That's terrible.
No, when you try and send it through the chat like that, it doesn't want to work for some reason.
Oh, that was a good warp. Wish I'd taken LSD when I was young so I could blame that on it.
Yeah, took time.
I like that dark screen.
Yes, sir.
That's
good. I see.
I just got a black screen behind me. It's kind of classic, but yeah.
I'm just trying to get a link. Huh. Why can't they let me put that link in the freaking... Try it like this once. That sucks.
Yeah.
YouTube allows you to send them links to there like that anymore.
Oh, well, that sucks. I wonder what that's all about. Man, because right now it's the color of my soul.
Oh, that's because they have that chat window down.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Just not being nice to me right now. I find it over here. Technology here, so just settle down. Okay. Oh, then the computer's bogging down a little bit too, so. Okay.
Uh-huh. Oh. Okay, that was
Just me.
Should I call 911?
Do you hear me there, Daniel?
What?
I'm trying to find somebody here.
Okay, yeah, you got an echo.
Try this.
Okay.
Try that one, guys. See if that works.
A little bit of an echo there. For me, I don't know about the rest of them.
I can't see the chat now.
I don't know about the rest of them. Miss Snarky is in here. Yay!
Hi.
We got one person in here?
Yes.
You actually got a lot of people in here.
Hey,
And Rachel.
did that last link work?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, even
I had to send it to the iPad. It seemed to work. How you guys doing?
Good. Raining in the desert, finally.
It was snowing so bad up here.
Nice. Boy, we got a lot of people in here now.
I'm good.
Raining in the desert.
Which desert?
I live in the Chingo. Oh, what was it? The fucking.
I gotta get. Oh, so far.
Chihuahuan.
Must walk.
And send it this way. We could do some rain. That'd be good. Well, welcome to the chat, everyone.
Oh, thanks for giving us a link.
Yeah. He's all in here now. We got Rachel, Gals Island. Is Rachel? Can I hear you?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Cool. Nice to meet you.
Ah, nice to meet you guys. I know I've spoken to most of you on Twitter and I think just mostly Twitter and YouTube, like comments.
All right.
Those are usually the only two places that I hang out. So yeah, probably.
Excellent.
What's up?
Not me yet.
Now that I'm not being an ass on my mic.
Yeah.
At least you didn't have your ass on the mic.
Yes, that's
I might
true.
have. What I do with my ass is my, prerogative.
But was it fun?
Nacho Witness said it's like a dorm room in here.
It's only a dorm room if we had weed. Lots of weed.
True, or some quarters to bounce into some beer.
Oh, yeah.
And I would be sitting in the corner annoyed because we
Hey, am I
an
here?
anxiety attack.
True, or some quarters to bounce into some beer.
And I would be sitting in the corner annoyed because we an anxiety attack.
Or some quarters to bounce into beer.
And I would be sitting in the corner annoyed because we an anxiety attack.
Or some quarters to bounce into beer.
That's amazing. I love it.
All right.
Yay!
All right.
Oh.
I ain't heard that in a while. All right.
Okay, let's see if this works better. I am so sorry for the echo.
It happens.
It only busted my ear for one eardrum.
You got
I'm hard
the
of
other
hearing
one.
sometimes.
I only have one good one, so it does.
So you can't hear now? Is that what you're saying?
Who? What were you? Am I being addressed?
No, I was talking to.
Oh, okay, fine.
Sorry, I'm married to Mrs. Snarky, so I can't hear what she says most of the time.
Yeah, and so he's trying to say that he has lost his hearing.
Selectively, of course.
I think it's a requirement when you get married.
I hear a buzz every now and then, but not much else from her.
I've forgotten what it's like to be married. It's been 30 years since I've been married, so.
Well, it's pretty much like I'm Charlie Brown's teacher.
Sorry, guys, I got to go take out the trash. I just heard that.
Oh, Boże moi.
Wait, so you could understand both tongues and that. Interesting.
Oh, where?
That's right.
Yes, he knows many fake languages.
Chandala Mosetai means I'm getting to 400 first, Johnny.
Oh, here we go.
Off, yeah.
My ex used to give me a hard time for speaking fluent stupid. It sounded somewhat like I have no idea what I just said. None. Find somebody with the gift of discernment, would you?
I have the power of interpretation. And what she just said was Johnny Drivebye kicks puppies.
Sylvia, do not eat my... Darn it. The cat is trying to eat the cable to my headset. Do not do that, please.
Bad kitty.
Be a nice kitty. You're always a good kitty, but be a nice kitty.
The cat's like, I got an audience now.
Wave hi to everybody.
Hi, kitty.
Oh my goodness, so cute.
We don't want to do that.
No, only on her terms.
Yes.
Well, the
you know
heathen
this is going
homie,
viral now.
heathen homie, you are a YouTube now, just so you know.
Woo! My first debut. Not even on my channel. I know. I had to download a freaking what was I saying? The free trial thing for the video editor. 'Cause I was like, "Be poor, yo."
What
That'd be cool.
editor are you using?
Oh shit, what am I using? Oh, Adobe Premiere thing.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, one of the guys on Twitter, one of the newest people to get on YouTube, actually recommended it to me. So yeah, I got it. I still haven't played with it yet, though. Still
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to do.
I use Movavi because I'm cheap.
What is it? Open source?
No, it's not open source. It's like $80 for the
Thank you.
actual package, but you can get a coupon that takes like $30 off.
Okay, okay.
So it's not too bad.
Right now, I'm using OpenShot under Ubuntu, basically because it's free. I have no money. I'd really like to find something that works decently because OpenShot gives me a hell of a problem.
Is Johnny still here?
It says he left.
What?
Really? Shows he's
I
still
think
being
it-
here.
Is that what that arrow up in the corner means? That the thing that he's like AFK?
He left his own video.
I don't even.
This was an Illuminati plot.
He says he's here. In the chat.
Meow. Damn cat.
Well, we can't hear you, I guess.
Yeah. This is interesting.
It is.
Well, this is the time when we all air our grievances against Johnny Drivebye.
He says to hold on.
Hold on to what, Johnny?
He doesn't say.
For one more day.
I mean, I'll hold on if you insist. I've still got it. I will freely joke about that shit. For any of you who don't know, I'm trans.
That's good.
I did not know.
Oh boy. Echo.
Echo, yay.
We can be a sci-fi movie.
Now we have Johnny and Johnny.
Yeah, we do.
Somebody
Johnny
build a
has been
theremin
cloned.
in. What, kitty? What?
You know that with this cat, we're going to go viral.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
Oh, I'll tell you. You want to talk about cats? Did any of you see the after show from Aaron Ra and Kent Hovind? G-Man showed up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and his cat. That was hilarious.
It was.
Man. Well, is this
Honey,
on
you
YouTube?
got your feet all tangled around this thing. Be nice, will you? You.
I actually watched that that live stream. I didn't get to see the after show or anything, but I actually watched that live stream. It was really good.
The after show was even better than the live stream. It was hilarious because when G-Man showed up, he just had a total meltdown.
Oh, yes. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And that's saying quite a bit. G-Man is generally on complete blowout kind of proportions, but he was really bad on that one.
Yeah. Now, I don't get it. I've been told that he can actually speak to people reasonably sanely. I guess he had a decent conversation with Shannon Q.
He can for short periods of time if you don't challenge him.
Okay.
He had a conversation with scientist Mel. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yes, I do.
But had a conversation with her, and she started to challenge him, and he got very offensive very quickly. And it just devolved. It was horrible.
I'll be right back.
Reminds me of the people that they want to talk to you, they quote unquote want to debate you or want to have a discussion with you, and then they disable their comments.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
I'm over here like, sure, engagement. All right, gotcha.
That's how you know they're legit, is if they disable the comments.
Yeah, I remember Shock of God used to do that.
Well, that's Catholic answers to a T. They disable the content comments right from the get-go.
Why doesn't anybody talk back to me? I can hear you now. You can hear me now, right?
Oh my!
Yeah.
I can hear clearly now. The static's gone.
That's good. Welcome back.
These gremlins all of a sudden just came right through the door. They had AIG hats on and started tackling me. I don't know what was going on.
Oh my! I had better get my.
Johnny, we took over your channel.
I know.
It's mutiny, Johnny.
Yeah, you have to pay us so much money.
I have a feeling that I'm going to be sitting here, like, giving lectures about puppy abuse for about 10 years, but
As well you should be. I mean, I'm not saying you do kick puppies. I'm just saying that some people say you do. I've heard many people say this. The best people. And
okay.
They're like smart people.
Oh, by the way, Johnny, can I let go now?
How many books do I have to read to prove you wrong?
Depends on who wrote them.
The Love Machine. That was my favorite part of that video, to be honest with you.
so Johnny Cirrus was saying that he can't get the link to work. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't. I can't even get in the chat myself. What the hell are you trying to?
You may have to share the link again on the chat with them.
I had a hell of a problem joining what I finally had to do. I was listening in on Firefox at first, but I cannot join a chat under Firefox. I have to do it under Chrome. I actually had to shut Firefox off and then bring the chat up on Chrome, and I was actually able to get in then. So I don't know if his problem is close to mine or not, but
It could be.
I'm going to fill my coffee. Hang on.
Try and invite him in directly too here.
So everyone knows that for a hangout, you're not supposed to wear pants, right?
Currently not wearing any.
Have you ever?
I went over to fill my coffee. You don't want to see me without pants. Trust me, you just don't.
Steve McRae says no pants. And so, I mean, he says that it must be true.
That one didn't work either, sir? No.
Oh, fuck with this. Okay, here you get in there.
I'm going to try and DM it to you then. If you guys don't hear back from me in like 5 minutes, send that dog with the whiskey barrel around his neck.
Where are you going now? You're running away again.
I'm trying to get that. I'm going to DM Sursa the link here.
Well, good luck.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Godspeed.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
Boy, we get a blast of snow up here.
We did too.
You got, I thought it looked like lightning and big storms going down by southern part of Iowa there.
We had lightning and storms last night, and then when I went to the store earlier, it was snowing.
Had about 9 to 10 inches here, maybe even more.
I don't think we're getting that much.
You know, one snowflake falls where I live, and schools cancel, roads like close, just everything shuts down.
That's how it is in the South and Texas too.
Mm-hmm. I'm in the Southwest, so yeah.
Oh, Southwest. Okay.
Yep, southern New Mexico.
I've been in the Great Lakes area all my life. I'm quite accustomed to snow.
No, I freeze at 60, so I can't stand it.
Now, we've had this bit where you have shitloads of snow, then it goes to 60, everything melts, and then that night it's back down to 14 degrees, and, you know, it just can't decide what it wants to be.
I know. One time it got into the negatives down here, and every, like, businesses, homes, everybody's pipes burst. It was like our first time in the negatives, and people were freaking out.
Oh, wow.
I remember that. Do you remember the winters of, let me think, 2012, 2013, and 2013, 2014? I lost a couple of water meters during that second winter. The frozen burst, $130 a piece.
Yeah, in 2010, actually, that's when the pipe burst thing happened. Ours burst, and we still haven't fixed the hole in the wall, but we'll do it eventually.
Yeah, that was when I was living in a bombed out shell of a house without effective heat and without indoor plumbing. That was fun. Not.
Change the. Oh, okay. All right, Nacho. All right, Nacho. So I freeze at 15 C. Oh, Chingo, I forgot the metric for.
Serious, I sent it in your DM message now.
You get that coffee. It should. Honey, do not.
Cyrus is here.
Holy
There we go.
shit. It finally worked.
A link in the chat like that doesn't sometimes work for some people. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's
because
Oh, all right, Nacho. So when the pipes froze here, it was -20 C.
Oh, wait a minute. 20 C.
That's like
Yeah.
400 negative Fahrenheit.
no, that's not how that works. Considering that
I'm American, I don't have to learn anything outside of my tables.
I don't got to learn any of that demonic metric system.
That's right.
That's right.
You guys and your demonic Arabic numerals.
There's all them zeros in it.
When I was in the lab, I used SI units. At home, I use not Imperial, but whatever you call these units, and I still can't transfer between the two of them.
I have no idea what loudness I am listening to.
Me neither.
It's not me.
It ain't me.
Someone have a TV on or something?
That's what it sounds like.
Nope, I turned off all of my other 4 screens.
The only things you're listening, the only thing you should be listening to from me is the sounds of the car. So I just got off work, so here we are.
I was wanking furiously, but I'm pretty sure I have that filtered out.
Well, I'm sure that we can find a fantastic straw man elsewhere.
You guys, I can't really. Can you guys hear Daniel very well when he comes in?
Daniel, give us a short count.
1, 2, 3.
I can hear it.
Oh, there we go. I can hear it now. Yes.
Yeah, good.
Phil
All
from
I
New
had to do
Zealand's here.
Yeah, if this happens again, I'll just count to 5 again. That's cool.
But count in American, not in like Canadian or whatever.
Just don't use any of them demonic Arabic numerals. We'll be A-okay.
Yes. I have both of my rivals here right now.
You do.
Oh,
The difference
Johnny-
is, according to Social Blade, it says that I'm actually growing at a faster rate than you.
I hate you.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
Social Blade used to be my only friend.
And
Well,
then
you
I've
guys
posted
don't.
those 2 pictures.
Yes.
But you guys don't realize that I have 350 some videos up under my belt yet.
It's going to be a while before I get there.
I
What do
plan
have,
on having. I plan on having over 100 done before this year's out, but at the rate I'm going, that should be pretty easy.
I'm hoping to get at least something out, at least before the end of March, but who knows?
I am very happy I discovered HitFilm because it actually does like half the shit that the paid things allow you to do without me having to break my balls to buy it.
Okay.
I got lucky. I found out that Final Cut Pro trial version has a glitch in it, so you can keep on using it.
Oh, sweet. There was a glitch like that for Pinnacle as well. I used to use that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's nice when you find them. It's like, well, I'll eventually buy it if I ever make money. So
you're using the WinRAR principle, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah, I was looking for that word.
I don't know if you guys saw, but last night and this morning, Suris was trying to help me figure out my audio issues, and spent forever trying to figure it out and couldn't get it figured out. And then he goes, well, do you have it set on your Yeti? And I looked at Audacity and there was a drop down and it wasn't set to my Blue Yeti.
4 hours of work, people, for a drop down menu.
No.
Like I went into I have a folder called Audacity Secret Sauce, and it's a set of settings for like compression and mixing and everything to make sure that your audio gets cleaned up. So I'm just like, here, use this, and okay, make sure that you're using this setting on your microphone. And like, we slept on it, I wake up, everything's still fucked up, and then we get to that point, and it's just like, oh, so this whole time it was a drop down menu. I mean, don't get me wrong, that those settings are going to clean up your audio still, but like, it was a drop down menu. That's all it was.
Oh, I very few times in my life do I actually facepalm, but that was a facepalm moment for myself.
I just know that like anytime that I would watch a video on your channel, I noticed that all of your audio sounded the same, whether you were doing a live hangout, like the Pentecostal Bible studies, or if you were doing one of your scripted videos. And I'm like, that's not how that should be. Your live stuff sounds fine, but your scripted videos should sound a lot cleaner, just because you've got time to edit. I'm like, why does his stuff not sound clean? Let me message him real quick and see what he's working with, because this sounds weird.
You have no idea how much money I have wasted. I have bought mics. I have bought Zooms. I have bought audio software.
Well, I am happy that I was able to intervene because I randomly decided to send you a message on Twitter.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and pop off. Excuse me. I actually kind of forgot I was cooking. So.
Oops.
Oh no.
Well, don't burn your house down.
Do
not set off the smoke alarm.
Okay, the question is
I forget I'm cooking. I forget to eat. I forget I have to pee. If breathing was manual, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
So,
I know the feeling.
The question is though, if you're cooking, are you at least cooking a vegan atheist baby? Because at least that would be.
those tofu tots, man. Those tofu tots.
Tofu tots. I have not heard that one before. I'm going to use that.
Oh, thank you. I just made it up right now because
That brought me up to what?
Improv, mate.
Thank you.
The
All right,
reason.
guys. I'll see you guys later.
You'll be good. Glad you could drop.
The reason I don't smoke weed is that I forget if I'm breathing or not.
I mean,
okay.
Given that you have a highly flammable avatar, I'm not surprised.
I will sit there going, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in.
It's a real buzzkill, I tell you. Trying to, like, you're stoned and you're having to tell somebody, yes, you're breathing. It's fine. You're fine. No, you're not dying.
See, for me, I just have a rule for myself that I don't get inebriated on anything. strictly because I make bad decisions without it, and I really don't want to see me on anything. I know for a fact I'll probably be like, yeah, you know what? One beer doesn't hurt anybody, and then the next day I'll be like, what the fuck did I do? Please don't tell me that. I think it's best I forget.
So my absolute worst experience was a friend of mine was talking to me, and he goes, well, the reason you're having these issues, you shouldn't be smoking it, you should be eating it. And so he gave me some brownies, and he said, okay, eat one. If you don't really feel anything, eat a second one, but don't go over 2. Do not go over 2. And he gave me 6 brownies. And
I can't wait for this.
I ate 2 brownies, and I waited about 45 minutes, and I still didn't feel anything. And so I ate another 2.5, and I spent the next 24 hours stoned off my ass. And the thing is, I had to give a verbal presentation in front of a college course the next day.
Am I supposed to be feeling Jesus yet?
I stood up in front of the class, and I realized that I had stopped talking, and everyone was looking at me, and I could not remember where. And I don't know how long I stood there, but eventually the professor just goes, Matt, you can sit down now.
For the love of Saint Kulik. I
wonderful.
remember those days. Over talking on a 4-foot bong. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about anybody else. When I would start coughing with a lungful of marijuana smoke, it would hit me like a sledgehammer.
Hey, you're not supposed to use that word anymore. I hear it's racist nowadays. Apparently.
What?
Which one?
There's this freaking viral video going around right now about how apparently the word marijuana is systematically racist.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What?
I'm like, no, we should just, you know what? Let's just call it the devil's lettuce. That's fine. That won't make any.
I like that.
We'll use that one. People enjoy that one so much more.
Yes.
Have we no shame?
There's so much stuff to get outraged over now that I just don't understand. I think I'm old now.
I think a lot of it sadly boils down to, the whole like the rebel without a cause principle. You just don't have something to rebel against, so you have to fabricate something. It's like that freaking meme that's it's like that meme that says, what's worse than having an imaginary friend? Having an imaginary enemy.
Well,
good point.
It is.
Anti-Ordinary has a video up now where it's someone's giving a speech, and the woman giving the speech just makes the comment that men have more muscle mass and are generally taller than women. And all of these people get up and walk out and start freaking out because she's being misogynistic.
Yeah, they
that's-
unplugged her audio and everything.
But that's genetically true.
Yes.
Yes.
We have evolved that way, but it doesn't make it sexist.
No.
It's like saying that on the whole, generally women are going to be slightly more empathetic than men. Yeah, whether or not that's not necessarily a misogynistic thing to say. It's just something that you can go out in the real world and witness.
Yeah, well, Matt can't say blowjob on his own channel.
Yes, I made a blowjob joke, and I submitted my video, and the next morning I woke up to someone just ripping me because I was being misogynistic towards my wife, who was also on the video, also making blowjob jokes.
No, this has just gone too far. Sorry, kids.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I understand some, like with almost any movement, I can understand some segments of it, like the PC movement. I can understand some segments of it. There are some things that are offensive to say, and you probably shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is going too far. Like when somebody who is obviously masculine or obviously feminine, and you say, how are you doing, ma'am? Or how are you doing, sir? There is no reason that I should have to think in the back of my head, should I actually start this out with asking them what their preferred pronoun is? Because that's, 1, a mouthful, 2, unnecessary, 3, absolutely stupid.
And I think it becomes offensive when you know what pronoun they want you to use, and then you continue
Yeah,
to
you do it on
refer to them
purpose.
as the opposite.
And that's
Oh,
fine, but take it
yeah.
as somebody who works in customer service, that doesn't necessarily always translate.
Yeah.
Even
Oh, yeah.
there are people who will, it might also be because I'm in an incredibly dense town. I live north of Atlanta, so we're in a very population dense area. And there are people who are it's incredibly hard to tell what gender they are either attempting to portray or are portraying. And a lot of times I have actually just reverted to what is your preferred pronoun, because I don't want to start that conversation off as their adversary somehow, magically.
Oh, I constantly get misgendered over the phone, but I understand that. I mean, I'm guessing that I sound rather masculine to you guys.
You
You've got
you
a deep
sound a
voice.
lot
Dude.
like my teacher in high school, who was just had a deeper feminine voice.
Okay. Yeah, because I was trying to do the boy thing for about 50 years, and that didn't work, and I finally transitioned. But over the phone, you've got no visual cues.
Yeah.
And of course, with a voice like mine, I'm going to get misgendered. At least I don't sound like this, which is
At least you don't sound like Dan the trucker.
But yeah, I get that. What I don't get is, sorry, whoever's going to take offense to this, but the invented pronouns like Z.
Please call me Zay.
Oh.
And I, at least as far as I can tell, a lot of people expect you to know those the first time you see them, and they're not part of the English language yet, anyway. So how are you expected to know that stuff?
Not to mention, there's no reason that I should have to know 72 of them. Like,
right? Yeah,
absolutely not. And this is coming from somebody who has friends who are gender fluid. One of my best friends is actually trans, and so this is a conversation that I actually have a lot because I'm within a circle of friends who do identify in a lot of these areas. And even people from just the LGBT community in general, most of the time will go, no, that's going too far.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard so far, too, from the transgender community.
And you're talking to a trans person who's saying that, so
yeah, and you've had plenty of time to deal with these issues because you've had a lot of time on the earth to actually deal with them. I'm only 26 years old, so I would assume roughly half the amount of time.
Holy shit, I could be your grandmother.
Probably, but that does mean that you've had an opportunity to deal with a lot more than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
Cirrus is a baby. I just realized this.
And I'm helping you with your audio issues.
I know. Isn't that what the younger generation is supposed to do for the older?
That's true.
I mean, it's true. It's true. and I'm sure there's going to be something that by the time I'm 35, there's going to be something that I just simply cannot understand. And I'm going to have some 14-year-old explain it to me.
Oh, I just realized that does. Oh, your dealing with me this morning is a lot like me dealing with my father when it comes to technology.
True, but I do think, and this might be just one of the things that I've noticed in the skeptic community, before I ever actually became a YouTuber in the community, and I was just watching people like, Alex O'Connor, Godless Cranium, Armored Skeptic, it seemed to me that like the majority of the community was the 20 to 30 range generally. That seemed to be where everything that I was watching. But then when I actually started making videos and interacting with the community directly, I found out that, oh no, that misconception was very much just that. That was a misconception. Yeah. Everyone from like 70 down is in this community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Inane Dragon and I were talking about the exact same thing, that sometimes we both feel really old being on YouTube, but at other times it seems like we're young compared to a lot of the other people that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like that Johnny Drivebye who's like 70, I think.
All bow to my wisdom.
Are you sure you're not missing a 0 or 2? I'm
You know
kidding.
what? You never know. Some days I
That
feel like
moment when we find out that no, there are several zeros we're missing. Johnny Drive-By is God.
Well, I'm not old. I'm Precambrian.
that's awesome.
I like to imagine that the support for God has gone down so much that he's gotten on YouTube.
That moment when God's like, you know what? I am an atheist. You've all convinced me. I just don't exist. That moment when God gets so philosophical with himself that he takes the exact opposite route that a solipsist would take. Everything is real but me.
Wasn't there a meme about that? I mean, just after Hawking died, it was something like,
Yes.
Stephen has convinced me that I don't exist.
Stephen has mathematically proven to me that I don't exist, and it's because there was a misconception that Stephen Hawking mathematically disproved God, but he never did, because and this is something I mentioned on my video about it. Stephen Hawking wasn't an anti-theist. He was an atheist, and not because he cared about it. He was an atheist because he simply didn't give a shit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of, was it Steven Weinberg that said something to the effect of, most of us, meaning the scientific community, don't think enough about God to even know whether we're atheists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people just, well, that's also why atheism in the colloquial sense is the default position for that very reason. But colloquial atheism is philosophical agnosticism, so it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to a career philosopher, then they would have to argue that point that people don't think about God enough to be an atheist. But if you're talking to the layman, then atheism is very much the default position.
Yes.
Yeah, well, get Ozymandias Ramses II in here. That'll really spice up that conversation.
I could also bring Steve McRae in, but I think me and Steve would agree I think Steve and I would agree very much on what I just said, because I think that's his exact stance, is that from a philosophy standpoint, he has to take the side of agnosticism, but in a colloquial standpoint, it would be atheism.
Yeah, pretty much.
The academic side, yeah, it's a positive position.
Yeah, and that's the same thing as, like, I can say I have a theory, but somebody in the science community would say, I wouldn't use that word. That's a very strong word.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do use that strong word.
I've actually tried to work it out of my vocabulary because of how many times I'll accidentally say theory, and I've
had to do that too.
I will actually say hypothesis, and somebody's like, "Why are you using that word?" I'm like, "Well, you see, in the community that I'm in, that's a scary word." Like when somebody says string theory, and I'm just like, that hurts to hear.
Some of us were just having a discussion about that a couple of days ago. Yeah, on the Discord server for GDC.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I came out of the scientific community. I took a degree in neuroscience. Unfortunately, I fell ill before I could complete my PhD. But yeah, theory means something to me that it doesn't mean to my friend upstairs.
Yes. To you, theory means a model that is used to describe a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Not a guess. There was somebody on one of the groups that I'm in, and we were having a conversation. I said, hold on, it was actually a debate chat. And I said, before we have this conversation, we need to lay down a definition. Please give me your definition of theory. And when he said it's essentially just an educated guess, and I'm like, you just said a hypothesis.
Yeah.
What you just said is a hypothesis. It is an educated guess. He's like, well, that's the way I use that word. Like, then we can't carry on the conversation. If we can't agree on a definition, we can't use a two-way equivocation fallacy to continue this conversation. It just doesn't work that way.
Oh, right. And I I don't know if Dr. Jones is listening in on this one. Please forgive me, sir. He's a big sweetie anyway. But yeah, I run into that one when I'm on the place. We seem to be talking past each other a lot when we try to define terms, and it doesn't help much.
No, and that's like, luckily, I've watched a lot of like the Matt Dillahunty debates where he actually will define a term in a debate, and I find that incredibly helpful because that way you don't speak past each other at all.
Yeah.
At least it makes it much harder to. You still can.
So
Yeah,
speaking
and
of
at
Matt
least-
Dillahunty, everyone here knows who Godless Engineer is, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, did anyone else miss the fact that it was Godless Engineer that asked the question at the Psy and Dillahunty debate?
I found that out today. I didn't know that was it.
Did not even know that.
I didn't know that.
He's not wearing a beanie, so you do not recognize him.
He's got a little.
He's also not loud.
Yes, he's
No,
very
the only one I
soft.
recognized at that debate was Brian Fields.
Yeah, he asked a question at the end of the debate, and he's very soft-spoken and very kind in his questioning, and he's not wearing a beanie, and it just... I've watched that debate 3, maybe 4 times, and completely missed that was Godless Engineer.
Do you remember what question that was?
Oh, I can't remember what it was exactly at this time, but it's a question to Psy. Miss Snarky, do you know what the question was?
I don't remember.
Was it by any chance the one where the person laid out that there was a force that he was trying to he was trying to challenge Psy's definition of God? There was a force that was personal but outside of time and space, and
I think that that sounds right.
Okay, so that was GI. Okay, I'm sorry, GE. Okay, I got you now.
It blew my mind when I saw that on his channel today. That's one of our favorite videos to watch, actually, is that debate, because it's just so silly.
It's excruciating. We are like sadomasochists or something. We enjoy watching Psy. Yeah.
Isn't enjoying watching Psy like slightly more painful than enjoying watching Ken Ham? Because I think a presuppositionalist is almost worse than a young Earth creationist in some aspects.
Yes.
just the absolute obtuseness of it is what kills me with that.
Like, I think
wait a minute, Ham is not a presuppositionalist.
Ham is not a presuppositionalist by his own definition, but by his actions he is.
Okay, that's I was confused. Okay.
Yeah, Psi 10 takes the actual stance of presuppositionalism and uses that verbiage. Ken Ham does not. Ken Ham tries to mask it in this pseudoscientific verbiage instead of a philosophical verbiage, because that's where he thinks he has expertise, but everybody who has half a brain knows that Ken Ham doesn't have any expertise in practically anything except being a salesman.
And then, of course, compared to Cornelius Van Til, neither of them is a presuppositionalist.
I have not actually seen any of his stuff, but now I have something to look up.
Yes.
Cornelius Van Til predates YouTube by a whole hell of a lot. He was a Calvinist theologian. Trying to remember his dates.
So he's a presuppositionalist and a determinist.
He defined presuppositionalism.
Okay.
Let me look up the name of the book in which he did that.
I'd say honestly, the 3 people that I do not enjoy listening to in a debate, because it seems like nothing gets accomplished, would have to be Ham, or it's a toss-up between Ham and freaking William Lane Craig in that slot.
Oh, yeah.
Dinesh D'Souza.
Then there's Matt Slick, and then there's Psi 10.
Dinesh
I think
D'Souza.
that's actually 4.
Now, Steve Shives did a Atheist Reads series on the book I have in mind from Van Til. It may be a Christian theory of knowledge.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, The video that Chives did is a few years old by now. Back when I liked Steve.
The one that really drives me nuts is Dinesh D'Souza. Watching him debate is the worst. I can take... Huh?
No, continue.
I can take William Lane Craig to a certain point because you have some great debaters on the other side. Dinesh is the same way, but just his arguments, I spend the whole time just pissed off.
It kind of reminds me of something about Craig. I was in a conversation on, I think it was either JD Keynes or Steve. No, there's another person from the GDC who very rarely hosts Hangouts. I don't remember his name, but he used to be a young Earth creationist, and Steve kind of talked him into being an old Earth creationist.
That's a step.
Wayne Fillmore, I think. But I was on his channel, and I had mentioned on his channel, because he was having a conversation about how to have better conversations between theists and atheists. And I said that I find that William Lane Craig is one of the worst proponents for the Christian religion. And one person who was in there who was a theist was like, wait, you don't think William Lane Craig is a good model for Christianity? And everyone in the chat was like, he literally lies and uses logical fallacies just to win. Yes, he's a bad example.
And he's such a pompous ass about it too.
Well, I don't really mind him being a pompous ass about it, because for the same reasons I don't mind listening to Lawrence Krauss debate, because he's a pompous ass as well. Like,
yeah.
Krauss goes from just being a pompous asshole to being absolutely fucking rude. And the worst part is that he feels justified when he does it. Like, I like Krauss, at least his arguments, but he does this thing where he interrupts the opponent on everything they say. And yeah, there's a point where you interrupt and debate for clarification's sake. But if you're not trying to clarify, you generally have to give them their time. Like, that's how structured debate is supposed to work. If you're not asking for clarification, you give them their time. And Krauss just doesn't seem to understand that.
Does William Lane Craig ever actually debate for the Christian faith? Because he generally goes more just for the philosophical concept of God.
He just debates the Aquinas models. That's all.
Yeah.
He debates the Aquinas models arguments. That's all I've ever seen him do, because he at least seems intellectually honest enough to an audience to not verbally make the logical leap, or the illogical leap rather, between deism and theism. Because what a lot of people don't seem to understand on the theist side is that all of the classical arguments get you as far as deism, and they cannot get you further.
Yeah.
Right.
And they say, well, then we have the Bible. I'm like, by that logic, then I have the Bhagavad Gita, and my position's just as valid as yours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll respond, I don't even know what that book is. And I'm like, that proved my point instantly.
That's beautiful setup there.
But you know what is fun? And I have found this doing my hammy videos. Go to Answers in Genesis and pick any article on there. You will die laughing by the end of the article.
Because of how badly spelled half their shit is?
Not just that, but just how they connect the dots to their faith. Every article is crazy. I don't want to have to read it, but I go to read it just to form my satire, and within seconds of getting to that site, I have found all I need. It's amazing, the level of just inane bullshit.
Well, I get the impression they use whatever they think they need to use at the time, even if it contradicts something they used 6 hours ago.
Yes.
So you mean they're just like William Lane Craig then?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay. At least we can agree on that.
They actually say that the reason why we have carnivorous plants is because of the curse that God placed on the ground.
Oh, for the love of St. Goulet.
But that doesn't
Jumping jelly.
logically follow. That doesn't logically follow at all. But
trying to
I
explain.
don't remember God cursing the ground.
Well, he curses it and brings
Should
it.
I read Genesis again?
It says that he's going to bring forth thistles and thorns, and that's where they get the idea of
and it
carnivorous
forces Adam
plants.
to till the ground and all that.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
and what gets me is when people confuse the serpent for fucking Satan, and I'm just like that.
Oh Lord, yeah.
It's like read that book over and over and over again and see where it says Satan, Lucifer, adversary, whatever version of the Bible you're using. See where it says that, and you will keep on looking until you get to Revelations, and even then, by that point, the Greeks were using the term serpent as a pejorative.
Yes.
They literally were just calling Satan an asshole, not necessarily calling him the snake. It's amazing how misconstrued Genesis is. Half of it's because the book's written like shit.
Yes, it
well,
is.
remember,
Horrible writing.
It's what, about 4 or 5 myths just crammed together?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like they took the Epic of Gilgamesh, raped it, and then took the little bastard children, killed them, chopped them up, rearranged them, and said, "We got a book."
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It really is, and they had as Apologia was saying, they had a northern tradition and a southern tradition, and when they built the books, they actually tried to meld them together, and some things weren't the same, which is why you get the two Genesis, the two creation
Genesis
stories.
1 and 2 accounts.
Yes, and that's why they repeat the flood story as well, and because they were trying to put it all together, and it just didn't work.
Which creation account are we experiencing?
Freaking reminds
In other words, they needed a better editor.
Yes, they
mean
did.
an editor.
Okay,
You
I'll give you that.
PR guy.
They needed WordPress followers, because the second I make a mistake, it's pointed out.
You know, it's funny. I used to have this habit, and I still kind of do, of putting like some really controversial Bible verse up on my Facebook page just to see my friends that I grew up with just tear each other apart over it. And I know that's really horrible, but I was 23 years as a theist, and I actually grew up the first part of my life in a Christian private school. So a lot of my friends that I grew up with are just from that group, and one of the ones who actually engaged me was one of the ones I grew up with in the Christian private school. And when I was saying something about the flood, and he was like, I was like, there's no way a flood could have happened. The only flood that you can even point to would be the Younger Dryas event, and even that is misplaced in time. It's misplaced in area. It's the closest thing to a global flood we've had, but it's still not the global flood of Noah. And he was like, well, there's this article that proves I'm right, and he links me to AIG, and I immediately just go, like, the minute I open up the article and I see Ken Ham's stupid face, I'm just like, you linked me to Ken Ham as your argument. That's your argument. And he was just like, it doesn't matter what the source was. I'm like, it damn well matters what the source is. That's how you get peer-reviewed journals. You look at the fucking sources.
I used to do the same kind of, when I first left the ministry, I used to put the more controversial verses on my Facebook. And one time I posted the verses about the woman's thigh falling out.
Oh, is that Numbers 5?
Yes.
It's Numbers 5. It's the abortion potion.
Yes.
Yes.
I posted that chapter in its entirety, and I was told by a Christian friend that I was taking it out of context.
I did the same thing with the I think it was the I can't remember which actual verse it was, but the verse about dashing the Amalekites' children onto the ground and killing them.
Right. I don't remember which one that is either.
It's twice in the Bible. There's a verse about it in Psalms in reference to the actual act that happened. I posted the one from Psalms just because that one, it's easier to find. It looked better. But somebody said I took it out of context on that one too, and I'm just like, God's children, Amalekite babies bad, dash babies on rocks, you're happy. How am I taking that out of context?
I was just like, you don't know what the word context means, do you? I didn't give context. I gave the scriptures, and you're saying I took it out of context.
Right.
I think it's because it's a knee-jerk reaction half the time. Like I don't want to say that this is the case, but I know for a fact that in some circles, the pastor will actually teach people what their knee-jerk reactions to certain things are.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time. Most pastors just take the easy way out and just don't talk about the controversial verses in the Bible because that's the easier cop out. But some pastors who do talk about the more controversial bits, they'll give their apologetics for it, and then they'll give you what your knee-jerk reaction should be, and then they'll say that they're not a cult. But anyway, but they'll give you the knee-jerk reaction, and most of the time the knee-jerk reaction is they're taking it out of context. Here's the apologetics for it, not even realizing that the term apologetics is the most ironic term in the debate room.
Yes.
Yeah, about the numbers
to point
5.
out. Go ahead.
Oh, about the numbers 5. I've gone around and around with that with a high school friend who fancies himself an apologist. And he's trying to explain away this whole thing. And it's like, Lou, you're not doing it. It's not working. If you want to have a whole hell of a lot of fun, go on to Amazon and look for a book called Come to the Father. It's horrible. Yeah, I have to take it apart. I've been meaning to do an atheist reads sort of thing on this book for about 3 years now. Every sentence in it is wrong. And the first of the wrong sentences he starts out with is, the Bible is the inerrant word of God. Where do you go from there?
By having that, actually, ironically, when I was linked to the AIG article, that was the first sentence on the article about the flood. Does the Bible is the inerrant word of God? So, and then it just moved on after that point.
Oh, that flood, is that the one that was centered around the city of Sherapok?
The Younger Dryas event?
Yeah.
I believe so. I know that it actually had a lot of semi-global reaching effects. Like, from what we can tell, all of Texas was actually underwater during the event. And I know that it's supposedly the Epic of Gilgamesh was based off of that actual event.
Yeah, because the one I'm remembering was very wide-reaching in its effect.
It was probably the Younger Dryas event because it was right after an extinction period, but the Dryas event itself was not an extinction event.
Hey guys, we're going to have to jet for a little bit, but this was a lot of fun. We got other projects to do. Yeah.
Flood.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you for having us. This was a lot of fun. It's good to meet everybody.
See you guys.
My phone keeps overheating and kicking me out, so I'm going to jet too. But I had lots of fun with this. I really appreciate this, Johnny, for letting me come in here and talk.
Anytime, man. It was fun talking to you. It really was.
Yes, it was good to meet you, Daniel, and everybody else. I do have to go, though. Thanks.
I'm going to go get a loincloth now and join a Wiccan group.
Bye, y'all.
Take care, Mrs.
Take care.
Y'all have more fun than you're allowed to.
I hate to be the person who might end up doing the same thing, but I am now at my actual house, so I need to find an excuse to get out of the car and go in now.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably shut down anyway because my friends just talked to me and they want to do a little jam session tonight, practice. So,
oh, that sounds like fun.
Are you gonna record it and post it on your channel?
We haven't really had great rehearsals lately, so I haven't done that. But I might be posting one. I did one of my things where I played by myself or whatever, so I might post that up. We'll see.
Careful, I might take that out of context.
Oh, why not?
With everything else that's been said, I think taking things out of context has a whole new meaning that is still not correct. So
I don't think I could have said it better myself. Well,
this was fun.
Thanks a lot, guys.
I'm happy that link finally worked.
Seriously. I'll have to remember to send it to DM next time or something like that, I guess.
I mean, it's great to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's better than what I normally do on my channel, which is just talk at my script and hope it comes out right.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Yeah, you said your channel. What is your channel again?
Cyrus the Skeptic.
Cyrus the Skeptic. I have to look you up and actually subscribe.
You're gonna love it. His channel's great.
SURUS?
SURIS.
IS.
It should have the same avatar that you see into the Google Hangout. Should be the avatar you see on there. Let me hold on. If you can't find it immediately, because my skills at Google search engine optimization simply don't exist.
Oh, sounds familiar.
So yeah, I've been told that people can't find my channel, and I'm like, well, that's because I can't optimize my channel. I'm really bad at that. So let me go into the Hangout chat, and if you can see the Hangout chat, then I am pasting it there, and that should be infinitely easier than trying to find it.
Oh, there you are. You now have 341 subscribers.
Excellent. And that means I'm closer to beating Godless Iowan.
Hey.
Johnny, I
Well,
recognize
I
that
can't
you're in the
subscribe
race
to
as
you
well.
because I've already done it.
I recognize that I'm technically your rival as well, Johnny, but at the same time, I'm past you at the moment. So right now I have to focus on getting past Iowan.
Like I said, 350 some videos that you don't even know about yet. I could put together like 3 or 4 full features, and
I mean, if you want to do that and shoot yourself up, I love having things to aspire to.
excellent, man. Hey, if I get up there, whoever gets up there, we're all gonna ride their coattails anyway, right? Whoever it was.
What I'm planning on doing, and what I've actually told Prophet of Zod, is whatever YouTubers that I end up moving past, I'm just going to do collaborations and shoutouts with them to get them back where I am. Like that's my goal.
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds wonderful.
It's the same thing that so far has been done for me. Like I know that in a few days, whenever we've got the ability to, me and Cosmological are doing a collab, and then I did the collab with Prophet of Zod. And so even though they have larger people than I do, or larger populations of people watching them than I do, they're helping me get my subs up, which means that I need to do the exact same for other people down the line.
That's what the collabs are all about, man. Godless Cranium is a pretty good testament to the way that works. he collabed all. I remember him putting like a video a day and collabing with someone here, and there, and it really helped him out big time.
Oh yeah, and he shot himself up. I think I subbed to him when he had 6,000, and he's shot all the way up. He's almost at 20,000 now.
I'd say I was at number 60, 70, somewhere on there.
Oh, a lot earlier than I was.
Yeah, I right about when Desert File first shouted him out. That's about when I subbed to him. That's a year and a month ago, maybe year and 2 months ago.
Well, I discovered Godless Cranium when he collabed with Paul Apologia.
Yeah, I
interviewed. Well, I've discovered a lot of people that way.
Well, Paul Gia does a lot of collaborations with people because his format is really good for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His format is excellent for it. My the video response format seems to be okay for it, but it requires a lot of moving parts as far as the script is concerned. I know for the video collab me and Prophet of Zod did, it took 2 weeks for us to get that script done. It was madness compared to what I usually do.
Well, I still have to work on script writing. I'm horrible at it. I admit it. I mean, there are about 4 videos that I want to make. It's just a matter of getting the damn things written.
If you ever need help with that, just give me a message. I apparently can do it fairly well because it normally takes me only about 2 hours to hammer one out.
Okay, what happens to me is I tend to ramble.
I used to have that problem a lot, but what I found was that problem was inherent in my speech. I had a tendency to go on tangents, and then I would never go back to the topic at hand. What I actually practiced was going on a tangent for 1 or 2 sentences, recognizing I was on that tangent, and trying to find some way to bring that back to the topic, And that actually helped me in script writing later, because now if I start rambling on my script, after about 2 sentences, I realize that I need to go ahead and go to the next paragraph and bring this back.
Okay, yeah, I mean, this is why I can do fairly well at response videos, because everything is there and everything is focused. And then, of course, with the cooking show, I've got a recipe to do, and that's focused. Just trying to write the new stuff, it's like,
For me, a response video is the easiest for me. I can just take their video and then chop it at the parts where their argument, where they separate all their arguments, and then in between there, I'll just record my little responses in between there right as I hear it. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at shooting from the hip.
Yeah, what I usually do with response videos, if it's not something that I have to do 2 to 3 paragraphs on, if it's something I can just shoot from the hip on, like you said, I'll usually just play that segment of the video in my video editor, slice the footage, and then record exactly what I'm saying, and then just keep on doing that until my audio recording's done. And then I just throw my audio in and cut the audio up and put it where my slices are already made.
It depends on which character I'm using. I'm starting to get a lot of them built up now.
I only have one character right now. I might end up having more, but for the time being, I need to work on getting my character animated past blinking.
Who do I got? I got Joey Parker today, Oleander Hansen, Sonny, Furlock Holmes.
yeah, there's a video I want to do. That discussion I referenced from a couple of days ago on the GDC Discord server. Again, it was brought up. I'd seen it a couple times before. Supposedly, a 10-year-old kid was cleared for gender reconstruction surgery.
Okay.
Didn't happen. The only place I could find anything that said that was a headline in a Fox News article from about 4 years ago. But the article itself doesn't even pertain to the headline. They did the article right. They just, did this headline to get people to click on it or some shit like that. And now it's everywhere. And I don't know if Andy Ordinary picked up on it too, because she did one on trans kids. And it just misrepresents the thing so horribly. I am in favor of puberty blocking medication for the kids.
Yes. That I think my view on it, let them express the gender that they feel like they are. Let them express that. And then once they come to, say, the age of 18, say that is your cutoff point. Once they hit that point, then if you feel like you need to have gender reconstructive surgery or gender reassignment surgery, do so. But simply be that gender while you are growing up, and then get to that point later. Like, get to the reconstructive point later.
With the delayed puberty, it does circumvent a lot of problems a lot of us have had, the older folks, to where the secondary characteristics are developing during the natal puberty, and now you've got to find a way around them. My voice, for example, and my baggage downstairs, that sort of thing. Were I able to have been on puberty blocking medication back in 1966, I'm thinking that it would have been a lot better for me, all else being equal.
Probably. I know a lot of people that once they get on their hormones, and once their hormones start kicking in, it improves their quality of life greatly.
Oh yeah. It's not a panacea. Don't get that wrong. It does not solve every problem in the universe. I still have more problems than I care to think about.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't stop dysphoria from being dysphoria. It helps. Yeah,
but I mean, that one, now I don't have to wear a mask. Now I don't have to play a role anymore.
Yes.
That problem doesn't, that's gone. Now, if I could just, if taking estrogen would cause like $60,000 a year to drop into my lap, okay, that problem would be alleviated, but that's not going to happen.
No, that and that's as someone who does not experience that, I only get to experience it second and third hand from people who are close to me. So I don't know how it would feel to have an issue like that needs to be solved. Outside of depression, I do have depression, I do have anxiety, and I have been on medication for that. That's an entirely different monster, though. That's
Well, welcome to that club, too. Yeah. Took 25 years to find a antidepressant that actually worked for me.
The first ones they put me on, I think I was on Klonopin for depression and anxiety, and that gave me hallucinations. That was not fun.
Oh, man, I remember Klonopin, yeah, as an anxiolytic. The one that finally worked for me is mirtazapine, if you know about that one. U.S. brand name Remeron.
I do not know about it, mainly because right after I had a $40,000 a year full benefits job, and that's why I was able to afford going to a doctor and psychiatrist and everything and get that medication. But the depression and anxiety itself actually led to me losing that career. So I lost the ability to continue paying for any types of medication after that point, and I had to learn how to deal with it myself. And I couldn't afford a therapist, so what I had to do is I had to talk to a friend of mine who had been to therapy and have them get passed down information, which is not the most efficient
therapy
way.
by proxy, huh?
Yes, it's not the most efficient way, but it did help. It did get me to the point where I was a functioning human being again. So I can't say it didn't have some effect that was positive. But I have only recently gotten insurance again, so I could now, if I wanted to, go and receive medication again. But I have not started that journey again because for the time being, it seems like most of my symptoms have leveled out. Give it another 10 years, that will probably not be the case, though.
Okay. And damn, I'm happy for you with the symptoms leveling out, because this is no fun, and I'm sure you know it.
Oh, it's not. There was a time where I was at work and I had a full-on anxiety attack that led me to be in the fetal position behind a register for a solid 5 minutes.
Oops.
And I could not get up and could not function. And when my relief came in, I had to run to the bathroom simply to continue that attack in peace. That was not fun. I do not want to repeat that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the way to spend a weekend.
No, definitely. That was my last day at work, at least at that job. That was my last day of a 3.5-year-long career. That was not fun. Don't do that again.
No, because I've been a disability bum for almost 30 years now. And this whole depression thing is the root of it. I was trying to climb out of it. I actually went back to school. This is where I referenced the degree I took in neuroscience. Unfortunately, what took me out was the major depression again. I have a feeling that I overextended myself. I'm one of these people who wants to do everything.
I suffer the same issue. If you
and the damn thing of what was really funny about it, I wanted a lab, and I wanted to study. Guess what? Affective disorders. What took me out?
Affective disorders. And my you know what? I had a thought and it completely left. It is now out in the wind.
Squirrel.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Probably.
Yeah, it's my hair is actually catching up with my brain. As I'm going gray, I'm going through blonde.
Hey, was somebody talking about going off on tangents before?
What?
Were we talking about going off on tangents before?
Yeah.
And suddenly we're here.
Hey, here we are, 3 hours later.
Reminds me.
I don't want to shut this down, but I'll let you guys talk when I get back from the jam practice. You'll probably still be here, huh?
Oh no, it's good.
No, I actually have to get out of the car now. It's starting to rain.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're in the car.
Yes, because the thing is, where my apartment complex is, there's a there's a Dollar General outside of the complex, and then when you get into the complex, T-Mobile loses all service throughout the entire complex. So
Oof.
for me to drive roughly 15 feet forward, it will disconnect me from this call, and it will not let me get back in until I get into the house proper. That's why I've been in the car, because I know that as soon as I get that interruption, I'll just be like, sorry guys, I'm hopping off for the time being.
Mhm. Well, I probably need to hop off myself and actually do a few things around here, get things ready. I'll be on air. Well, I'll most likely be on air tomorrow morning. Do you know about Caína de Ataque and NCG Studios?
I do not.
No.
Dr. Michael W. Jones, he calls himself a multi-axial theist, whatever the hell that means. But he's had all manner of people on his show, including Aaron Ra, including Silverman. He's had a couple theologians on. He takes a very interesting view of the New Testament. He is actually a linguist and has done a good bit of exegesis. Some of what he says is totally crazy, but some of it actually makes some sense. And over the last year, I've somehow become a regular there. So trying to remember what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. I think he's going to be going after Romans again, but don't quote me on that.
Those are the other demonic numerals.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I need to work better on my my misrepresentation theist self. The minute that he hears something, the satanic panic turns on. You said Arabic, you use Muslim numbers? Well, technically we all do. But
That's not the real way they pronounce Yahweh. What?
We pronounce it Yuwa. There ain't no damn vowels.
Well, they wrote that Bible later. They spoke it. I don't know.
In this church, we say Jehovah.
If the King James Version was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me.
Oh my God. If English was good enough for Jesus, it was good enough for me.
Yeah.
Well, I think on that note, I'm going to hop off, guys. I greatly enjoyed this.
Same here. I hope we can do it again.
I'll beat you to 400, though.
I'll see you guys, and I look forward to continuing our race, Johnny.
All righty. Well, I'm going to hang her up here then, guys. So thanks a lot for stopping in. Thanks for everybody in the chat, too, Dane.
Thanks for having me around.
Hey, bet. Anytime. Stop in again.
Danke schön.
Gita.
Okay, there goes he.